Every motivation video, every system, every accountability partner, you have tried all of it. And discipline still feels like something being done to you, like punishment. Here is why. And here's the ancient method that removes that feeling permanently. There was a man who figured out why discipline feels painful, and more importantly, how to remove that feeling entirely. He did it 2,400 years ago. His method still works, and almost nobody is using it. Stagira, 384 BC. A boy is born into a household where questions are the currency. His father is a physician. Science, debate, and curiosity fill every room. From his first breath, this child is taught one thing above all: figure out why things are the way they are. At 17, he travels to Athens and enters Plato's academy, the greatest school of thought alive. He doesn't sit quietly and absorb. He argues, he challenges, he builds his own ideas inside the greatest intellectual institution the ancient world ever produced, for 20 years. But the question Aristotle became obsessed with was not about the universe, not about truth, not about the gods. It was one question nobody before him had ever asked with full seriousness. Why do some men genuinely enjoy doing the hard thing, while everyone else suffers through it or quits entirely? Aristotle's answer was precise. Discipline feels painful for one specific reason. You have disconnected the action from the person it is building. Every hard task feels like something being taken from you. Comfort taken, sleep taken, ease taken. You feel the cost. You feel nothing of the return. He called the solution eudaimonia, not happiness, not pleasure. Something deeper, the lived experience of becoming the person you actually want to be. Aristotle said when you connect each hard action directly to the person it is building, the action stops feeling like cost. It starts feeling like progress. The method is one question, asked before every hard thing. Not, do I want to do this? That question always produces the wrong answer. The question is, who does this make me? 3 seconds. One question. It reattaches the action to the person being built. Skip the gym today. Who does that make you? Not someone who rested. Someone who chose comfort over the person they said they wanted to become. And here is what Aristotle understood. Moving away from who you want to be feels worse than any workout. The question makes the real cost visible. Aristotle saw character not as something you have, but something you are constantly building or eroding with every single choice. Every action is a vote for or against the person you are becoming. There's no neutral action. You're always moving toward or away from who you said you wanted to be. Picture this. You finish a long, exhausting shift. You come home with nothing left. There's something you want to build, a business, a skill, a project. You sit in front of it, and you cannot move. You can feel only the cost, the tiredness, the effort, the comfort you are giving up. Then, one night, before opening the laptop, instead of forcing yourself through willpower, you ask the question, who does working on this make me? Someone building something real. Someone who showed up when it was hardest. Someone becoming the person they said they wanted to be. The cost didn't disappear. The tiredness was still real. The effort was still real. But suddenly, the cost was smaller than what it was buying. Not gone, just outweighed. And that shift, cost outweighed by return, is the exact moment discipline stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like a choice you want to make. This is the exact distinction Aristotle drew. Willpower forces you to act against what you want. The question method makes you genuinely want the hard thing, because the hard thing is now directly connected to the person you actually want to become. You stop fighting yourself. You start choosing yourself. This is why motivation systems always fail eventually. Motivation asks, do I feel like doing this right now? That question depends on mood, energy, and circumstances. Identity asks, who am I? That question has a stable answer regardless of how you feel. You build a self that acts, and then the self does the acting. Here's what happens after you use this method consistently for weeks. The brain stops resisting the hard thing. It starts associating the hard thing with becoming who it wants to be. And at that point, something unusual happens. You start to actually crave the difficulty. Not because it got easier, because your brain rewired what difficulty means. Here's how you use this starting today. Before every hard action, 3 seconds, one question. Who does this make me? Name the answer. Out loud if you can, then act from that identity. Not from motivation, not from willpower, from who you are choosing to become. That's it. That's the whole method. Aristotle's final insight was this: character is not a trait you have. It is a practice you perform. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act. It is a habit. Every day you use the question, you strengthen the neural pathway. Every day you skip it, you weaken it. You are always practicing something. The goal of this method is not to become someone who forces themselves to do hard things. It is to become someone who genuinely chooses hard things, because they are connected to who they are. That is the difference between suffering discipline and living it. Aristotle called it eudaimonia. We might just call it becoming. You don't need a new system. You don't need more motivation. You need one question, asked before one hard thing. Right now, who does this make me? Answer it honestly, and then act from that answer. Aristotle figured this out 2,400 years ago. The method still works. The only variable is whether you use it.